Yeah, you know they gon' fry.
Whoa! Same on boat, you look at the smoke. So, we give them some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of all. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of all. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of us. We want the world, we breaking it down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
And even the evil, spend holy days away from the heathen. I need a break, I don't need a reason. I need a script, I don't need your grievance. Keep it to yourself, it's better for my health. Leave it on the shelf, and he ain't nothing else. Tonight and tonight, knowing the price. Pay it off for my life, till it's out with your lights. Do it all for the Christ, and he ain't playing nice. Knew the end from the start. Fix your face like it's art. The sons of a simp, call them Bart. Yeah, you did your best, played your part. But now it's time to cut you to the heart. Flex on the case. It's the strangest of the salvation. You see it, believe it, amazing. The chariots coming invasion. Since the creation, war, mine, Lord, bless the general. Greatest nation, eat them unequivocal. Bones dropping bloody, cause it's biblical. Start shit, now it's time to finish.
Whoa! Same on boat, you look at the smoke. So, we give them some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of all. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of all. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of all. We want the world, we breaking it down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
I can't wait for our kingdom.
Test. Oh, yeah.
Check.
The mic in the middle.
Check.
The middle mic.
1 2 1 2. Is that mic on? Y'all can hear it?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey, okay, so we here, we back. Hey, shalom family. Yeah, let's give it.
Yeah,
Let's
want
go.
them hands up.
All right. Welcome back. We missed last week, all right, due to the new moon, but shalom, everybody. Most High Christ bless y'all. We are the Nehemiah Squad. I'm
That's
Captain
right.
Zakai, and I'm here with.
Officer Shem.
All right.
Officer Judah.
Yes, sirs. So tonight, we're going to be discussing the topic of the show, the food system. Is it nutritious or lethal? All right. And we have with us a special guest tonight. All right. She's a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and she has a website called wonderfullynutritious.com. We're going to introduce Miss Joanne Philemon. Miss Joanne, where you at? There you go. Hey, how you doing, my sister?
Hey.
All right. Hey, turn her up. I'm not hearing Joanne.
No, I'm not hearing her either.
Is your
Good
mic?
evening, sister. Good evening.
You can't hear me?
Oh, there you go. There you
we
go. Miss Joanne, how you doing? Good to meet you.
I'm good. How are you all doing?
Good. Let me say this first. Suck passe.
Not boule.
Okay, see, I don't know no more than that. I can't hold a conversation, sis. I can't hold a conversation. So, sis, let me ask you: Are you vegan or a vegetarian? If there's a difference.
I'm what I would call, and what most people within my field would call, plant-based.
Okay.
So I eat meat.
Oh, you do?
But majority of the
Okay.
foods on my plate are coming from plant sources.
Okay, got it. So you would eat like beef that's raised strictly on grass, or what, grass-fed beef, or
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I would prefer. Grass-fed beef, more organic chicken.
okay.
Um,
Okay. Because I thought maybe you were just a vegetarian. I was about to say, we would like to step in as your husband's counsel and at least give him a chicken wing or something. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause hard for men to just live on.
my husband, he eats less meat than I do.
Really?
When we first started dating, he was I wouldn't call him a complete vegan, because he dabbled in goat because we're Haitian, and
Yes. Yes.
he dabbled in goat every now and again. So he was more flexitarian, but it was rare that he would have
What's that?
fish
Flexitarian?
or lamb or goat.
Listen, I love fried goat. Okay. Now, my people are from the Caribbean, right? So, but generally we'd always have curry goat, right?
Okay.
And then when I started having some Haitian friends and they started showing the food, and I'm like, wait a minute, fried goat, that thing is the best thing in the world. Now I don't want to have nothing else. Yeah. Go ahead. What you got?
What's a flexitarian?
So, I mean, that's a terminology that came about, I would say 15, 20 years ago, maybe less. It's people who are flexible in how they eat. Like today or this week, I'm vegan, or next week, I'm pescatarian, or they're just titles. I'm not a big title person, because if you call yourself a vegan nowadays and you're wearing leather, or you're not living the actual vegan lifestyle, somebody may come after you.
Right.
Dang. All right. Sound like a bunch of double-mindedness, if you ask me.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, so Sister Joanne, just introduce yourself to the audience. Let them know exactly what you do. Go ahead. You can take it from here.
Yeah, so my name is Joanne Philman. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. I specialize in gut health and anti-inflammatory therapies. That's what I do most, because everything is tied to the gut. People may not realize it, but everything is tied to the gut. My website is joannefilman.com now. I just recently updated things.
Okay.
But if you go to wonderfullynutritious.com, it would just redirect you to joannefilman.com.
Okay.
But that's what I do. So I help people optimize their gut health, their overall health, whether they have an actual condition, they've actually been diagnosed, or they could be people who just feel like they're trying to go to the next level with their health. Nothing major may not be going on, but they've decided, like, I want to find out how to live my best healthful life. So they'll come to me for that. Even the people who have stuff going on, some of them, they usually don't have diagnosis, because the doctors oftentimes can't figure out what's going on. They know inflammation is there,
Right.
but they don't know what's causing the inflammation, and they don't know how to reverse the inflammation.
Right. And you specialize in anti-inflammatory foods, correct?
Yeah, so I specialize in anti-inflammatory therapies.
Okay, thank you.
So treating someone is very individualized, because your gut microbiome is very individual to you. So when I'm treating someone, I'm not going to say, hey, here, just add some turmeric and add some ginger, and you will be fine, because those are anti-inflammatory foods. Those are anti-inflammatory foods, and they are great, but I've run across people who have intolerances to them, and those intolerances are leading to inflammation in their body. So turmeric, as we may know it to be a highly anti-inflammatory food, may not be great for that specific person.
Okay.
So in general, I promote an anti-inflammatory diet, but when we're getting down to the nitty-gritty and person-specific therapies, we're looking at the overall person and what they can tolerate.
Right. So we were looking, right, and we wanted to talk a little bit about like some diet-related diseases, right?
Mhm.
Because as we're looking, we see that, especially in the Black and Hispanic communities, right? You're talking about, I was just looking this up, 23% death by heart disease, right? Which is, we were kind of knowing that, right? 20% by cancer, 5.7 by stroke, and 4.4 from diabetes. Now, a lot of these diseases can be reversed just through diet alone.
Mhm.
This is what we found out. So talk to us a little bit about that, and how would you use therapy to kind of reverse somebody in those kind of
Yeah.
conditions?
So let me start by saying, like, one of the most memorable lectures I had in grad school was this physician who was also a researcher at the MD Anderson Institute for Cancer. And one of the things that he said, it has stuck to me throughout all these years until now, is that 99% of disease originates from our diet. Basically, what we eat. It originates from inflammation, I should say, excuse me. So 99% of disease originates from inflammation, and this is chronic inflammation we're talking about, not acute. And that chronic inflammation we now know is significantly influenced by what we eat in our diet. And so within the Hispanic and Black communities, we see a lot of diseases that can be managed or reversed or wouldn't even have occurred if, our diet was what it should be for that person. But the problem that comes in our community and within the Hispanic community is that the lack of access to grocery stores, the lack of access to knowledge, to know what's best for your body, what you should be eating. Those are barriers. They're important barriers to note when it comes to our communities. The lack of healthcare access, being able to go to a doctor to even know, okay, you're at pre-diabetes level, or your cholesterol levels are creeping up and you need to watch out. Most within these communities don't have access to that. And because of this, by the time, they end up in the hospital, we're deep into it, and we could have most likely prevented some of this from occurring if they had access to these things.
And that's crazy. And let me tell you something. I saw something where they were talking about the right, let's say supermarkets, like you said, right? The right food in the right supermarkets, right? So you'll have some that, like, let's say a Whole Foods or a like on the West Coast, they have Sprouts. I don't know if
we have Sprouts too.
You got Sprouts? Okay, cool, right? But then in your hoods, right? In the neighborhoods where we reside, right? You don't see the Sprouts, right? And then the supermarkets that are there, this is what I heard, that once those supermarkets, for whatever reason, they leave, that there's a contract in place with most of them that another supermarket cannot be there for another 20 years. Right?
What?
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
Right. So this is how we're getting our food deserts, right? The problem of having good food and and nutritious food in our neighborhoods,
Right.
And as far as you talking about in regards to the healthcare, that's another thing, right?
Right.
Having great doctors and so on and so forth, it's not there, So
No.
in those situations, what are we to do? How do we fight that?
We have to help ourselves.
Oh, there you go.
We can't,
Talk to me.
we can't, we can't expect others to help us. We need to help ourselves because we've been waiting and it's not coming as fast as it should.
Right.
Okay. When we look at the food deserts, grocery stores are not available as they should be, but we have a fast food at every corner or
Right.
close enough that it's kind of
Yes.
like, okay, so are you telling me this is what I need to eat? A meal is way cheaper than any grocery store that I can go to based on the income that I'm making and the access that I have to whatever. So I'm going to this fast food restaurant because
Right.
I feel like that's what y'all are trying to tell me to do because they're everywhere
Right.
where I live. And that's a mindset people in these communities often have. And the lack of knowledge is that, okay, so you got a burger, beef. I don't know anything about grass-fed versus non-grass-fed. I don't know anything about that.
We don't even know if those burgers are real.
We don't even know if they're real.
Right.
You're telling me it's food and I need food to eat. So
Yeah.
I'm going to feed my family with this food that you are giving me access to because that's all I have access to.
Right. And the thing is that, like, with the grass-fed beef, right? If they were really charging, now this is what I heard. If they were really charging what that beef actually costs, right? Then a hamburger and fries would be something like $25. It would be crazy. So that's how come you're getting the less graded meat.
The lesser than.
Exactly, and Burger King and all of that, and you're getting it for like $3.99 for a burger and some fake onion rings. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a Coke. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, this is what we're dealing with. Y'all have something? You have something?
No, not yet.
Okay. Go ahead, Joanne. I don't know if you want to jump in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So what can we do? I mean, the most that we can do is educate ourselves. So if one person knows, if one person has the knowledge, and says, hey guys, let's meet up once a week. And I have a car. I know y'all don't have a car. Let's drive to the next town and go to a grocery store together once a week. And let's, do this. Or let's get together and make a little community garden so that we have access to our own fruits and vegetables that we can pick. Let's say neighbor A, you got the eggplants, neighbor B, you got the tomatoes, you get the onions, and then when everything is ready for harvesting, we divvy it up, between ourselves.
Right.
We have to take this into our own hands, because the higher ups, the big people, they're not making it easy for us, because the money is in disease.
Yeah.
The money is in sickness.
No, absolutely. And I wanted to show you something. Hey, pull up that article that I had from the food lobbyists, because you brought up a good point. The higher ups, right? So they're the food lobbyists. They're going in there and saying, hey, listen, lower those standards, you know what I mean? Because we need to sell Twinkies and Oreos. Well, they can keep selling Oreos, because that's my thing.
That's your price.
Oreos are ain't they vegetarian?
They are vegan.
They are vegan, right? Somebody told me that. I was like, vegan Oreos? Y'all making me feel good to eat these now, right?
No, but vegan is not synonymous with health.
No, 100%. 100%. And I found that out after I gained a few pounds with just like 3 cookies. You know what I mean? But, hey, y'all got that article? I just want to read that first part for. Okay, yeah. U.S. food lobby fighting hard to defend kid ads, right? So this is like those predatory ads that, I know you were talking about in one of your interviews, right? So, hey, scroll up, please. All right, there go that famous bad macaroni and cheese right there. It says some of the world's biggest food companies won a partial victory in a battle over junk food advertising for children, and now they are going for the kill, right? Food giants such as Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Kraft, advertising companies, can y'all get that out of there, please? Thank you. Advertising companies successfully pressed U.S. regulators to acknowledge they may weaken proposed guidelines that bar junk food advertisements aimed at children and younger teens. Their success alarmed campaigners fighting obesity, right? So, hey, drop that for a second, y'all. Right? So, they're winning that war, right? Because they're going in there, they're putting money into the politicians' hands to keep that bad food coming, right? But that's a problem, because everybody's so-called fighting child obesity and obesity amongst our people as well, and obviously the Black and Hispanic community has the highest obesity percentage. I mean, it's pretty bad. So talk to us about that a bit.
Yeah, so let me touch on obesity for a second. So BMI is what they use to categorize obesity.
Right.
And it's not for us. It was designed by some old white, I think he was German in the 1930s or something like that. It wasn't really geared toward us. You know how we say, and this is not, and I know some people, they use this, what I'm about to say, as an excuse for the lifestyle they like to live. So that's not why I'm saying this.
Right.
But you know how we say, like, we're built different.
Right.
We're built different. Some of us are solid.
Right.
BMI looks at height versus weight. It does not say what that weight is made out of. The Rock is considered obese. LeBron James is overweight based off of BMI.
Right.
So it doesn't always look at body composition. So I'm not a big fan of BMI, because the minute you see a Black person, they're solid, and you're like, hey, you're obese. Here's pill for you to lose this weight. Especially nowadays, we know what pill they're passing these pills around.
Yeah, what's
like
that?
Candy.
What are they using now? Ozempic.
Huh?
What are they using now? Ozempic. I heard about this. Yeah, this is crazy.
Everyone's on it now.
Right.
So I'm not a big fan of the terminology, the BMI definition, because it kind of helps people like companies like Ozempic to be able to say, hey, this community and that community, they're all obese and overweight. It would be great if Medicare, Medicaid, or whatever it is would pay for these people to be on Ozempic. because everybody's being categorized as overweight, obese. We're not looking at lifestyle changes. We're not looking at body composition. We're not looking, deeper into it. So that's my thing with when it comes to BMI. And then so when we are looking at how lobbyists and the powers that be are, they're doing whatever they can to make it so that it's the new normal for us to accept our
Right.
kids to be eating ultra processed foods.
Right.
And we're talking about people who have access. We're not talking about the people who don't have the knowledge, don't have the access. We're talking about people who have access to information, who have access to physicians. Their knowledge is and information they're receiving is so misconstrued now. When they come to me, all I can do is shake my head internally, not to their face, as to where we're at now because of how marketing has basically made people believe that you can have anything you want at all times, no matter how much you want. And, that's your choice. It is your choice. It is your choice to do that, but the end result may not be what you want it to be.
Right. But
It
let me
may
say
not be
this.
what you want it to be.
I'm sorry. Let me say this, Joanne. So the BMI, right? We know that that's not built for us. It's true, right? We have a different, but we still have obesity.
We still do have obesity.
Right.
We still have people who are in bigger bodies. It's the word obesity. The thing is that because it's so tied with BMI.
Right. I see what you're saying.
We need to look at what's going on internally.
Right. No,
My
I
thing
get
with
what you're saying.
BMI is that you go to a doctor's office, you walk in, you're like, hey, doc, I'm not feeling well. Something's up, something's wrong. The first thing they do is just say, hey, you just need to lose some weight. They never go deeper unless you're a person who is advocating for yourself or you have an advocate. It's rare that you'll see them going deeper and saying, okay, let me see if that stomach pain you're having is related to something more serious. Let me refer you to a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and see if we can get your lifestyle, changed. We do have people who are obese and overweight in those categories, but the question is, what is their health status overall? That's what we want to look at.
Okay.
Their health status is not only tied to overweight, obesity. We want to look at the overall health status. We want to look at, are you inflamed? How's your gut microbiome? Is it stable? Is it balanced? We want to look at the overall picture and not just that one part. Oh, this person's overweight, this person's obese. Let's just prescribe them the next weight loss pill, or let's prescribe them these pills instead of lifestyle measures first. Of course, if somebody is, their situation is more acute, medication, of course, is, the route to go. But oftentimes they're not being educated to go the lifestyle way of changing their diet, of eating more plant-based foods. Because that's the first step, is increasing your plant-based food intake, your fiber intake, and making it colorful. Colorful foods equals more vitamins, more antioxidants, more anti-inflammatory compounds.
Right. I like that. That sounds good. Because, normally we would buy some peppers, some yellow ones, some red ones, some green ones, you know what I'm saying, to make your, I like to saute that. I like the way it looks, you know what I mean? And it gives off a lovely aroma as well.
Yeah,
but you're right though, but it tastes great, and you will. But real quick, I want to jump on something you said, because you made sense. Like, it's not just the weight, right? Because we have a lot of people who look in good physical condition, and then they have high blood pressure, right? And all these little diabetes, so you're right. It is the inside, at the same time. But again, it's just going back to the education on what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, you know, these things,
Right.
you know, and it's hard being in America. You know, we love to eat.
We do.
Yeah, we love to
We
eat.
love to eat here.
Yeah,
And the when to eat. When to eat is
right,
specific to the person. Everyone's body again is different.
right,
Some people, it may do them better to rest their gut a little longer than others, especially the older we get. And then others, it may not work for them. It's really very individualized when it comes to things. But it generally, my recommendation for people when they are on a health journey is to start with the basics of following that plate method, where half of your plate is colorful vegetables, or fruits, depending on your preference. A quarter of your plate is a starch, so that would be plant-based as well. So that could be, that's where your corn or your rice or your pasta would go. And then the other quarter of your plate would be where your protein would go. Now, if you're vegan, that protein would be completely plant-based. If you are someone who's not a vegan, you still dabble in animal products. So that's where your fish, you know, your chicken would go in that space. So the majority of your plate, so 75% of more, because if we're counting that half of your plate, that's the colorful, non-starchy fruits and vegetables. And then the quarter, that's the starch, which is all coming from plant-based, that's 75%. So that's where we start. And then again, everyone is different. Somebody may be more active than somebody else. So they may need to increase a certain area more than others. Your goals may be different. Your dietary preferences may be different. So we may have to switch it around, increase one section a little bit more than others. But that's where I recommend everyone start. And then from there, learn what's, you know, the best for you.
okay. And so, you know, we have a lot of parents here, right? And Joanne is she's a wife, a mother of 5, right? Joanne, you need to let us know, how are you getting these kids to eat all these vegetables? How is that happening?
It's
not.
they don't care. They don't care who I am. They laugh at my face. They don't care who I am. I mean, I start out usually like my 4-year-old. The first 3 years of life was excellent. Like he was eating all the fruits and vegetables. He had no issues. For some reason, into the 4th year, something clicked. He's like, I don't want it. It has vegetables. I don't want it. It's green. I don't want it. But I thought green was your favorite color. I don't want it.
Right.
So no, I'm not. I'm like every other mom, struggling to get them to eat. But I do a little bit, some tricks, you know. I'll incorporate it into certain dishes. Like we do, we eat, because we're Haitian, so we eat a lot of Haitian food. So we'll make what's called sauce pois, which is kind of like a bean soup. And in that sauce pois, I will add vegetables to it.
Right.
And they don't know. But what I'm doing is I'm getting their palate introduced to the flavors of these various vegetables. So the hope is that when they actually they're presented with the actual vegetable, it's a little bit more familiar to them when I get them to taste it. So the 4-year-old that I'm talking about, even though he'll complain and say he doesn't want to eat the vegetables that I present, when I say, okay, mommy's going to help you, can mommy help you? And he's like, okay. And then so when I'm helping him, and I'll mix, you know, put the rice over the vegetables so he doesn't see it. And so when it goes in his mouth, he doesn't realize, okay, there's bell peppers underneath, because he's been introduced to those bell peppers through the sauce pois. So I'll do stuff like that. But it's a struggle. It doesn't matter that I'm a dietitian nutritionist. They don't care. They don't.
Yeah, because I asked, because I know I didn't start eating vegetables again until I was a grown man. Yeah, I love them. Very grown. And I had to season
husband
them.
either. I'm going to put him out there. He wasn't one either.
I'm telling you, that was like the worst.
He was the craziest vegetarian flexitarian that ate starches. He was a starchitarian is what he was.
Oh, starchitarian. So what's that mean? Like potatoes, sweet potato, all that?
That up.
Oh, yo.
I mean, I just made that up. He just he was a rice and beans guy.
Right.
And he would eat him some rice and beans, and the portion of vegetables on his plate would be insignificant compared to the rice and beans.
Oh
portion.
yeah. Oh yeah. Some of that black rice. You make black rice?
I do make black rice.
See, listen,
Joe-
let me tell you, Joanne. Out here on the West Coast, they don't.
What's
I'm,
black
I'm
rice?
from New York, right? So I was amongst everybody from Haiti for a long time, right? But
Uh-huh.
out here, no, it's just Black Americans and Mexicans.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. So they don't know nothing about Haitian food. We went to a Haitian restaurant a few weeks ago. Who was there? Oh, you were there. That thing was beautiful. That was the first time they were introduced. We had some fried snapper. We had some, I'm going crazy over here. I'm starting to talk about the whole thing.
And you sound starting to salivate. My
Yeah.
sister-in-law and brother-in-law, they lived out in the Oakland area, and they could
Yeah.
not find themselves
Listen,
Haitian restaurant.
that's where the place was. It was in Oakland. If I remembered the name, I would let you know so you could let them know so they could feel good. Once I walked into the place, real time. When I walked in, I smelled. I said, okay. The owner came out. I said, my brother, I finally feel at home in this place.
You, because they've since moved back to the East Coast.
Oh, they said
my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
But when they were still there, they couldn't find. I think they said they found something that was like 45 minutes to an hour away.
No, it's right downtown. It's right downtown. But it's not a lot of it's not a lot of Caribbean food out here. And then the ones that are, it's not that great because they don't have that much competition, and so they can just get away with murder. You know what I mean?
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah. But yeah, I wonder sweet
Since
fingers.
you're talking about
sweet
cultural
fingers.
food,
Go ahead.
I want to touch on that and
Please.
to say that even when I was in school, I'm not going to call it an agenda, but it could have been, who knows? I don't know what they got planned in the backgrounds here, but the education was geared towards more of the American style foods. So we weren't talked about our okra or our collard greens. We weren't educated on that as much. It was kind of like they were stripping our identity. For a long time, I was a closeted white rice eater because we were told white rice is not good for you. You should not eat it. And so I was preaching the word of eating brown rice only, but I was eating my white rice in the background.
Wow. Wait a minute, Joanne. That's how it is here. There's only brown rice coming into this place. In our congregation, we only eat brown rice. Well, at home, I don't know what they're doing at home. At home, I'm pretty sure that white rice is sneaking all up in there.
I don't eat rice at all.
Right.
You don't,
So,
you're done.
so the
Okay.
thing is that within my culture specifically, I can speak on and say that we don't normally eat white rice alone. We're eating white rice with a high fiber food. So either with the beans, we're making it rice and beans, or we're eating it with what we call légumes, which is vegetable medley,
that thing,
so to speak. And that's high in fiber. So our education has been kind of like removing people's culture in the past. And in the last few years, we have made strides, those of us who are minorities within my field, to go against that, to say, hey, you don't have to remove your identity, because if we try to remove your culture and say only eat this and that, how long is that really going to last? It's not sustainable. It's not going to last long. But what we can do, we can show you how to replate your food. We can show you how to prepare it so that you may be removing or decreasing the use of maybe like saturated fats within your vegetables that you're cooking. How to still flavor them up with spices without the use of those saturated fats.
Right.
So I want people to understand that don't remove your culture, but there's ways that you can go about still having your culture be included in how you eat. And it just comes with plating your food and preparation of that food. So within the African American culture, collard greens, mac and cheese is a big thing. But what I've seen, I'm in Georgia, and if I go into the rural areas and I'll see someone speak to somebody who's loves their collard greens, they're adding fat back to it. They're adding
come on,
bacon to it, or it's always an animal product.
Right.
So how do we flavor that up and season that up without adding all those things to it? Because what they used to add back in the day, like when we first got into this land,
Right.
it
Slave
may
food.
have been the master's leftovers.
It was the master's leftovers. It was disgusting.
It was the master's leftovers, but it was grass fed.
Well, listen. Even if a pig is grass fed, we not to eat that. You know what I'm saying? We not to eat that. Now, I don't know about your diet totally, right? But you know, we follow the dietary laws, right, of the Bible. So we're not eating pork, no seafood in regards to like shrimp, crab, lobster,
Yeah.
none of that, right? So even when you're eating a grass-fed pig, it's still unclean.
It's still unclean. So I was raised a 7-day Adventist.
Okay, yes, all right, there you go.
So till this day, I don't eat these things. But if somebody were to come to me and they do eat these things, I need to be able to incorporate that into how they eat, because that's their belief. That's how they, that's what they believe.
Just tell them.
My job as a
Joanne,
professional,
just tell them.
not,
Tell them it's not. Tell them they're breaking God's laws.
that's not my professional input.
I understand.
Professionally,
I understand.
I will tell them, this is how you prepare. I can't even really tell them how to prepare because I haven't prepared any of these things in my life. But I can tell them what to not include and what to not mix together and decrease this and increase that. The goal is to always increase plant-based foods. Majority of the time, our plate either looks majority starches or it's majority protein. And we want it to be majority plant-based. Colorful foods. I would say 2 to 3 to start, colors in your plate, on your plate. And then increase from there. Even, if you look at the week, consuming like about 20 different varieties of fruits and vegetable should be the goal for everyone. And that's including spices. We're talking about herbs and spices as well.
Right.
Within that number.
Right. So that's another big thing, right? Especially amongst the Caribbean folk, right? Heavy on the spice.
Mhm.
Heavy, right? And so I know I liked a lot of spices, right? Even now, but I cut back a bit because I noticed I was starting to get high blood pressure, which I never had before. And
That's not a spice then you're using.
So what am I using?
You're using those mixtures that has sodium in them. Natural
Right.
spices should not have sodium added to it. It's just natural. So as a gut health specialist, I always recommend singular spices. So
Okay.
you're buying your paprika alone, you're buying your garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne pepper, whatever it may be. You're buying them singularly, and then you mix them yourself as you're cooking. Because for one, the mixed stuff that we love in our communities, they're high in sodium. They include a lot of sodium in them, and then they're including a lot of preservatives in them that are disrupting our gut microbiome. So we want to stay away from that as much as possible and add like singular stuff and mix it ourselves. The reason why they're high in preservatives is because when they're mixed together, they start clumping together.
That's right. Yep.
So when you're buying stuff in the singular, you're able to mix it yourself. And it's great for our health when it comes to spices because there was a recent study, I can't remember what year it came out, but it was pretty recent, that said, if you are cooking, you need to be adding 3 or more spice variations in your foods. And if you do that, you are feeding the good bacteria in your gut like a probiotic would be feeding the good bacteria in your gut.
Okay. So you're against seasoning salt.
See, you can season your food without seasoning salt. You
Right.
season your food and then you add salt separately.
Right.
So you're doing it all separately. So that way you have control over the amount of salt you're adding versus flavor. So like in my culture, we have épices, that food that you like, the food that you be tasting that you're like, it's so great. Like
Right.
our core marinade and seasoning is épice, and épice is made from fresh vegetables. So it can vary from household to household, but the bases are, parsley, onion, garlic, habanero pepper, We're throwing in rosemary, thyme, cloves,
Right.
green onions. So we're throwing all that in and we're blending it up, different bell pepper colors. And that's what we use to marinate our meats. We'll use it to flavor our legume, our rice. So we're using that, and those are fresh items. But that doesn't mean that you should not eat or use the dried spices. They're fine to use. You just need to get the stuff that are single, like alone,
Right.
and
Right.
then mix it yourself.
Right. That's like the what we call green seasoning, and use
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You know about green seasoning? They
No,
use
I
that
know
to
that
to do
in
the
the
meats.
Hispanic culture,
Yeah.
they have something that's different, that's similar to apis.
Right. Right. Because the whole Caribbean really cook the same. Like if you eat from Cuba, it's like the same
Hmm.
food as in like Trinidad and
Yeah.
Jamaica and all that. It's just like a slightly different taste.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like oxtails and rice. Like I had it at a Cuban restaurant. I was like, wow, this is the same exact food that my
Yeah.
mother would make. You know what I mean? It's just a different little variation in
Right,
spices
right.
being used. You know, so this is a beautiful thing. So let me ask you this: in order to get out, because at the end of the day, our community is suffering, right? Period.
Hmm.
We're the worst. And like you said, maybe we should do something where one person grows this, one person grows that. Like we have a brother here. He's actually right over there, and he has like a apiary, and he has like honey, fresh honey. He has all types of fresh stuff, but he charges us too much, so we don't even want to deal with him. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't. Nah, he's good people. He brings it in for free for us and all of that. But that's beautiful. But that's just him. And we have a couple others, but we don't have that many. How much like land do we have really to grow like that? You know what I'm saying? We would have to in Georgia. I know you guys got a lot of land. You probably could get away with that kind of stuff, but in a lot of different areas, let's say New York, what are you growing a little bit of Scotch bonnet peppers and you know what I mean?
Right. You can grow stuff
Yeah.
in pots. You can grow stuff on, even if you don't have a backyard, you can grow it on the patio in pots. But platforms like this, like your platform and social media, it's informing folks who may not have been informed before or would not have been informed before. If we were in the 90s and social media was not around,
Right.
they wouldn't have been informed. So platforms like this, in addition to other social media platforms, are helpful in getting the message out and to teach people what they can do. You can try to grow some stuff on your patio. You don't need to have land per se. I've seen people grow potatoes, sweet potatoes, russet potatoes, all kinds of stuff just on their patio. Like there's no soil except for the soil that's in the pot. So it can be done, but the knowledge need to be there. And even if the knowledge is there, the lack of financial capabilities come into play as well, what people can't afford. All that, it all factors into where we're at right now.
Right.
It really does.
And not only that is the actual knowledge on how to do it. You know what I mean? That's kind of out the
Yeah.
window. It's not like before, you go down to everybody like will go down to grandma in the South, or you go to the West Indies, or wherever country you from, to go see grandma, and they got stuff going on. You see chickens and everything running around, and you have an understanding of that. Now that's gone. That's gone. So we don't really know how to farm anymore, plant. We have to be taught that. You know what I
We
mean?
do have to be taught that. But again, that's where the access to social media and platforms like YouTube, you can learn stuff about farming. During the pandemic, I did a lot of growing all kinds of stuff, and I learned it through YouTube University.
Wow. Okay. That's good stuff, sis. We on it.
Right.
We on it.
Yeah, I would just search how to grow sweet potatoes on a patio, or how to grow sweet potatoes in New York, or how to grow sweet potatoes in the Midwest.
Right.
Like someone out there has already put the information out and how to grow in your zone, because there's different zones. What can grow in your zone, when you should plant it because of the zone you're in.
Yes.
So that you can have as much summer sun time as possible to grow what needs to be grown. It's out there. The information is there, but again, we need to even give them the seed information so that they can go look for more information.
And real quick, because we know that, and we were talking about this earlier. You got an individual such as Bill Gates, right? And he's buying up all the farmland.
Mhm.
And he's not buying it to create farms, and he's buying it to hold on so that there is no farming going there, right? And now we're supposed to eat GMO and cloned meat. You know what I
Right.
mean?
If he owns everything, if him and his partners own everything, we don't have access to say much. But if you I'm telling you, I'm not even a real estate person. Like I don't have knowledge in real estate, but what I do realize because of what I've seen them do with all the land that they're buying, if you have land or a home with land within your family, don't sell it. Keep that within your family as long as possible so that you have some kind of land, access to some kind of land to grow your own stuff. Because I don't know what the plan is, but I see people buying up a lot of land. I do see that, like you just said. I see people buying a lot of land.
Yep. Y'all got some?
I got a
Yeah.
question. We kind of skipped past it. You had spoke something about pork and bottom feeder foods. My question to you is what I want to hear your take about what it's doing to our communities. Bottom feeder foods, as in pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, and all of the diseases it's causing.
Well, okay, so when it comes to bottom feeders and pork and whatnot, technically, there's not a lot of studies done on them that way. Like when we're talking about dietary laws within religion, there's not studies done on them that way because that's not beneficial to
There you
them.
go. Right. There you go.
We're not going to study things that don't benefit us. So there's not a lot of studies done on them. But what we do know is that certain foods, like a diet high in pork products, is detrimental to your health.
Right.
If you're eating ham and cheese and ham and eggs and pork-based bacon. I say pork. I know people be like, well, what other kind of bacon is there?
Right.
There are other kind of bacon. I eat turkey bacon if
Right.
I'm ever going to eat bacon. But if that's all you're consuming at every meal, there's some kind of pork-based, pig-based something in your foods, you're increasing your risks of disease because oftentimes that person who's eating a lot of these animals, a lot of the pork-based foods, they're not eating a small amount, they're eating a large amount. So even if you were to have the collard greens, that collard green has less collard greens in it than it does the pork.
Right. Right.
So we do know that.
Yep.
You know,
We
like
do know that.
when you think of the theory that you're talking about, you say you like grass fed beef. What makes grass fed beef better than, you know what I'm saying, steroid fed or corn fed? You know what I'm saying? What makes it better?
So I'm gonna talk on the gut health space aspect of this. So what we do know is our gut microbiome is disrupted when a lot of antibiotics are introduced to it. So that could be antibiotics from you being sick and you took antibiotics and you didn't replenish with probiotics while you're on those antibiotics and after. So if you can imagine someone who doesn't even realize that what they're eating is full of antibiotics, or how these animals were fed was not nutritious, it's not
there you
normal
go.
to them.
There
So
you go.
now how their body is grown, their meat is grown, and you're being fed off of that.
Right.
The nutrients that you
Exactly.
thought you were receiving may not be as it should be. So we want grass fed, we want no antibiotics. And I'm not a veterinarian, I'm not an animal farm expert or anything like that, but I do know that intake of foods that are high in antibiotics, high in preservatives are disrupting our gut microbiome and causing disease,
No.
causing inflammation, leading to chronic inflammation, which leads to disease. And there is a difference between chronic versus acute inflammation. I always like to say that because people like to think all inflammation is bad, and all inflammation is not bad. Inflammation is our body's way of saving us. Like if there was no inflammation, we would die. So if you cut your finger, you know, the inflammatory system, you know, it shoots out all the stuff that needs to be sent out to heal. And so that's like what we call acute inflammation. So we want acute inflammation. What we don't want is that chronic inflammation. That inflammation after the healing of whatever it was starts to happen, and the inflammatory markers, they never fully decrease. They may be low grade, they may be higher than low grade, but they're present. And the presence of them never being reversed or healed develops what we call chronic inflammation, and that chronic inflammation then leads to disease.
Right, and this the point that I was making with it too. So the same way you educating us, like via science and studies, we want to help educate you also biblically. So the same way, it's still a cow, right? But depending on what it eats, can disrupt your biomes. It can disrupt your gut health, right? What is going inside of a pig? You know what I'm saying? What's going inside of a lobster? What's going inside of a catfish? So, like you said, the area is not studied much. But if we just eat these foods, whatever they're eating is disrupting us, and God knows what He made. So now He's telling us, don't eat this, don't eat that. You know what I'm saying? And you ask yourself, we'll go to the doctor and like you said earlier, and they don't know exactly where it's coming from. They're not going to dive deep into it because according to their chart, they're going off a chart. You know what I'm saying? Like BMIs and all that. But when things don't make sense, it's like, well, let's just give them the pill. But if they have not studied what a pig has been eating, we're eating that on a daily. That's the other white meat here in America. You know what I'm saying? Catfish and all this stuff is common here in America. Maybe, not maybe, God said this is the reason for all of our sicknesses, and it's not being studied. So now you can take that information, say the same way a cow is grass fed and it's better for you. No matter what a bottom feeder is eating, it's terrible. But it's right. That's where you want to take your girl out on a first date. You're going to take her to Red Lobster. You know what I'm saying? Because that's it's like a delicacy,
right,
or whatever.
Right.
You're gonna put shrimp on your pasta. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not
and
knowing
bacon bits.
Yeah, they act like bacon is better on everything.
Right.
You know.
Hey,
so,
and it goes back to what you said earlier. We just built different. The Lord made us like that for a reason. Give me Leviticus chapter 11 in the last two verses. We just built different. It's in the manual.
It's in the manual.
The manual. You can't put diesel gas in a car that take 91 premium.
That's true.
But that's what we doing. We putting diesel gas in our cars. Read that, man.
Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 46.
Come on.
This is the law of the beasts and of the fowl and of every living creature that moveth in the waters and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten.
So the Lord gave us strict guidelines on what animals we can and can't eat. But when we go outside of that, we make ourselves abominable. Hold that. No, don't hold that. Drop it and go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 61 now. Right. This is why you got this in play. Our people is dying left and right from gout, high blood pressure, all of these diseases that come from dietary, from diseases that come from how you eat. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 61.
Come on.
Also, every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law,
come on,
them will the Lord bring upon thee.
So all of the gout, the high blood pressures, this stuff ain't written in the book, but this is what we getting because we going directly against what the manual of our vehicle say. The owner's manual of our vehicle say don't put that in there. And we putting it in there anyway.
And
Listen,
And at a rapid rate.
right. And I was going to say one thing because they said that you know, they call African American men, right, here in the United States, have a higher percentage of prostate cancer, right?
mhm.
So they said they couldn't understand it. They thought maybe it was genetic. But when they went back over to West Africa, where a lot of our people are, they noticed it's not over there. The
Mm-mm.
problem is here. So they broke it down that it's the diet, right? Because our people are eating crazy. Just like we brought up, all we eat. I was watching a barbecue, what do you call it, like a cook off or whatever on Netflix.
Mhm.
Everything they were cooking, it was pork, crawfish. Oh, this is what I grew up with in my youth. I mean, it was everything crazy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You have to get sick eating that food. There's no way around it, right? Look at all this. You have to get sick eating that food,
sure.
right? And then compounding it with all of the garbage that's being sold. Because think about it, how much chicken is there to have Burger King, McDonald's,
Wow, yeah.
El Pollo Loco,
Kentucky
Fried Chicken, Popeyes.
Chicken.
What is going on? So they got a place where they just squeezing steroids into these little birds. They blowing up and they cutting them up and giving it to us. You know what I
Right.
mean? So this is madness. So we already have that problem, but we can at least, like the officer brought out, we got to stick to the manual. That's going to keep us at least that
Right.
safe.
Yeah,
That's
And
right.
deal with the rest of it. you
And
know?
then on top of all of that, the
Yeah.
unclean foods, like you said, they stacking all of that GMO products and
Right.
inside of this unclean food,
Right.
which is double stacking in
Yeah.
bad health.
Right.
That thing is crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that, it's it's easier said than done. Like someone who was raised with that knowledge, I was raised Seventh-day Adventist. I have that knowledge. I still practice it. My kids, we don't eat any of these foods. But think about somebody who didn't grow up with that religious background.
I didn't grow up with that.
Yeah.
They don't have access to food. They're trying to feed their family. They're not going to care what we're talking about when we're talking about unclean versus clean meats and what is said in Leviticus. They're trying to feed their family.
Yeah.
So
No, you're right. You're right. And that's where that's where we come in. That's why we try to teach the laws of God to our people, right? We teach the laws of God to our people. Why? Because us breaking the law is what got us into this position in the first place. Right. So once our people understand that, because like the officer said, he didn't grow up with that. I didn't grow up with that. Right. I was eating pork and shark. You know what I mean? That's like, yeah, that's a big thing. My people from Trinidad, they love shark. Right. And I loved it coming up. That was crazy. It's a good thing y'all ain't getting no taste of that. Y'all might not have repented. Y'all might have, they might have stayed eating that shark. That thing was so damn good, right? But when you know that it's against God's laws, all of a sudden it starts taking you like, oh, nah, this is crazy, right? But we ate all those. But when I heard the laws and I heard the truth, I said, okay, this makes sense now, right? So we just stayed away from it. So that's what we do. We teach. So that's how come I said, hey, Joanne, just tell them it's against God's laws.
Tell 'em.
Right?
Tell 'em.
Let them know. It might, I mean, the people who are our people, they might accept that. And you're right. You're in a professional setting, people get offended, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, oh, you can't tell me I can't eat my chitlins, although when I cook, it smells like somebody's in the bathroom. You know what I mean?
The kitchen smells
Yeah.
like the bathroom.
the worst.
Right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even with that, our people still try to find something good out of that. Like,
Right.
that was
Yeah.
slave food. That's not our
Right.
diet. Nobody eats that in Africa. They're not eating that over there. And
No.
beyond, we in before Africa, we was never eating that. You know what I mean? I mean, we started in Africa. We wound up in Europe. You know, we bring this out all the time to our guests because we know y'all probably don't know, but our people ruled in Europe for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay, we wasn't dealing with pork and all of that. That happened when Christopher Columbus and they brought those pigs to to all these different
Right.
lands.
Right.
You know.
Start to eat.
But
that
go ahead,
stuff.
sis. I'm
I
sorry.
believe that.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I believe
Oh,
that. And the thing is that people don't realize. So when I work with clients and we're talking about foods that they are intolerant to, that is giving them problems, the minute they go overseas, they have no issues with these foods.
Right.
So we're not only talking about the type of food, but the quality of our
Right.
food here
Mm-hmm.
is different.
For sure.
No, that's absolutely correct. Because here in America, they're trying to kill us. There's actually a movie. It's funny. I don't know if you saw it, but they made a movie called They're Trying to Kill Us, right? And it just popped up on my YouTube. I saw it was like a gun, but it looked a little strange. When I looked close at the gun, it had all types of foods and different fast foods inside of the gun. And basically, they were talking about the food deserts. There's more liquor stores than supermarkets, and what they use the food to literally keep the systematic, destruction of our people, and that's what's going on. So it's good that we have people like yourself that's teaching the health, but we gotta teach the laws of God with our people. Let them know who we are as a people, right? That we are the Israelites. We're the Jews of the Bible. We have to keep the laws as it is written. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the first time you're hearing that, Miss Joanne.
No, it's not the first time I'm hearing that, but I know they are not going to want to hear that.
I know. Hey, listen, we know you at work. When you at work, you can't just, hey, listen, you are a Jew, and now you must eat this way. We know, we know you can't kick it like that, right? But the fact is, it's good to at least now, and again, we can't tell you how to run your thing, but it's good to at least contour your food, and let them know, like, hey, you might want to just eat this or eat this. You know what I mean?
That was the whole.
They'll listen to you.
No. When I again, because I don't even know how to cook any kind of pork, anything, or any kind of shellfish or anything. So when I'm giving recommendations, even when I design menus, they didn't include those things because I can't give you a recipe for them. I'm really good in the kitchen. I can throw down, but I can't throw those things down.
I can't throw those things.
When I'm designing recipes, I could not even give that unless somebody really requested it, then I would have to go look and say, okay, this is how they say you make a pork chop. Look, you could do this, but predominantly, it's not even part of my menus at all because I don't know how to make them.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like the same way you educating us, the Bible was educating on you also for you to look into these things, So give me Deuteronomy 14:21 real quick. I'll show you this. Watch. And when I listen to like motivational speakers, financial guys, they all go back to biblical principles. All of them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna read a biblical principle that's relating to diet. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 21. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself.
Stop right there. The Bible says we cannot eat anything that dies of itself. Why do you think so? The same reason you don't want a cow that eats, steroids, because you're eating the disease that killed the animal. You know what I'm saying? So now when you do your research, okay, if I'm getting sick off the things that the animal I ate, what about the bottom feeders? What about the hawk that eats a dead body? What about the pig that eat a dead body?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What about the catfish that eats the feces that the whales drop? What about the crab that crawls about? You know what I'm saying? So this is a biblical principle. If I can't eat anything that dies of itself because of disease it ate, what about all of the abominations and diseases that these unclean foods are eating? Right. You can educate you don't have to say, well, the Bible says this, the Bible says that, because that wouldn't be professional in your office. But what you can say is, look at the same way you wouldn't eat any animal. Grass-fed beef is better. These animals are terrible, period, because of what they eat. Their entire diet is poison.
And then it's what works a lot of the time is just making it real. Like again, like Cap said, we're not trying to tell you how to run your business or do your professional practices, but a good thing that works for me is like just making it real to them.
Right.
Look at all of the people that die from these same particular diseases over time, and it's happening in time and time and time again. People just dropping dead and not waking up because of these unclean foods that they consume.
Right.
Give me Sirach chapter 30 and verse 14. Give me that.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 14.
Come on.
Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution.
Come on.
Than a rich man that is afflicted in his body.
Scripture say better is the poor man that's healthy and keeping the God's commandments and eating what it's supposed to eat than a rich man that got ailments in his body.
Right.
Go ahead, read.
Health and good estate of body are above all gold.
The scriptures say health and good estate of the body is above all gold. How do you attain that health? By eating and eating the things that you're supposed to eat, not eating the things that you're not supposed to eat. Now, you ain't supposed to really eat nothing in excess, to be honest.
Right.
But when you, especially when you're doing it with, look at that there. Damn.
Oh man.
Woo-wee.
He got
Yeah,
some
that's-
leafy greens on.
He got a little. He only got one color, Joanne. He
You
only
got
color.
one color.
He got 75% meat.
And a lot of that stuff was wrong.
Bread.
Go back,
When you
read.
read about what you should eat, that should be the focus. Because when you tell people you can't, then they're like, then what can I eat? So the
They say
focus should be on what you
that's
can eat,
true.
what you should eat.
That's true, and we do go through that type of stuff as well.
Yeah.
That's what we more so focus on.
Right.
You know, go finish reading 15.
Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth.
Come on.
There is no riches above a sound body.
Say, there ain't no riches above the sound body. You can have all of the money that you want and die from a heart attack because your arteries is clogged up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know, like we have that same thing. We always get that. They'll say, "Well, what can we eat?" It sounds like we taking everything away from them, you know. But the thing is, discipline. That's the addiction talking. Like if you tell a crackhead, "Hey, you can't smoke crack no more," you're like, "Then what I'm gonna do? Exercise. Go do something cool. Go
Yes,
drink some
but that's
clean
why you
water."
gotta
You know what I'm
focus on what
saying?
you can. That's where that knowledge and education comes from.
Yes.
To give them the what you can eat, and that's how I work in my practice. So if I'm talking about treating your gut and your gut microbiome, and I'm like, well, eliminate this, eliminate that, don't eat this, don't eat that, they're lost, especially people who are from different cultures. So we're focused on what you can eat. Okay, this is the list of foods that are going to be your best foods. This is what you should be eating. These are going to help, reverse the symptoms you are experiencing. And this is what you should eat.
Yeah.
So I'm more about the what you should eat than focusing on what you can't eat, because I've experienced it plenty of times, and to know that the can't just boggles people's mind. They can't.
Hell yeah, they be
Sometimes
like,
they don't
"Who the
even
hell
wanna
are you to
talk to
tell me
you.
what I can't eat?"
Right. They get offended.
That's how they get.
Yeah.
Of course.
But
That's
you're trying to
people.
educate them. You're trying
That's
to help
people.
them. Right. And they'll take it as an attack, you know?
Right.
But
So
like,
when you come at you can't, then that's an attack. But if you come like you should eat this, these are the foods that you should eat. These foods are best for you. It's more digestible.
right.
It's more accepted
Right.
than you can't eat this. You should not eat this.
Right.
It's more negative.
Yeah, it's like it's like a psychological warfare that you got to play in order to same thing with like when you were dealing with your children and putting the bell peppers underneath it's the same type of situation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
But as long as we get that message across to the people, right, and let them know, hey, this is how you eat healthy, but you stay away from these foods.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's gonna take you a long way.
Right.
That's gonna take you a long
Hey,
way.
read verse 17 right there in Sirach 30. 17.
Sirach 30 and verse 17.
Come on.
Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness.
It's a death. You might well die. Because your death is better than always being sick. That's miserable. That's being miserable. You dying slowly. It's like somebody sticking you 18 times a day with a knife. Just go ahead
Quality
and
of
take
life
me
is
out,
terrible.
man. Just
Yeah.
go ahead and do it, because it's easier that way. Ain't nobody want to be. Ain't nobody want to live like that their whole life.
And then you know how like the people say, well, what am I gonna eat? That do be the addiction talking. And what you were saying earlier, it's a lot of stuff presented to us, a lot of stuff at our access. I can go get I can feed my children, my entire family for $24 and get 2 pizzas. You know what I'm saying? That's accessible. It's fast. I ain't got time to cook.
Right.
So that's what we're gonna do. And that's like subconsciously we're gonna fight to keep that. But if you take that away from me, now I gotta discipline myself to cook. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff that go with that. So I would rather, and I'm saying just us as a people, we would rather go to the fast food, you know what I'm saying, and we'll say, well, it wasn't nothing else. When in actuality, we all have access to you know what I'm saying, healthy food, whole food, but it's the discipline of making that choice. You know, what are you gonna stock your pantry up with? You gonna stock it up with cinnamon rolls and cookies, or you gonna stock it with, you know what I'm saying, grains and things you gotta cook. You know, our
But
people
that's the
is
thing. We don't all have access to those things. Um, that's what I was saying earlier. We don't all have access to those things, and that's part of why we're where we're at.
Yeah.
The communities that they're in, you know, like we were talking about the neighborhood, the hood, those neighborhoods have been basically segregated or separated from access to plant-based foods and fresh foods and all that. So some of them, all they have is they may have a bodega or they may have a corner store that may have some stuff in there. But finding fresh fruits and vegetables, you gotta have a car to go
True
to
that.
the next town over to
Yeah.
be able to do that.
That's the
And
realest.
some people they don't even have cars. I mean, I speak to people all the time every week
That's true.
who struggle to have access to these things because they don't have cars, they don't have the finances, they didn't even know that what I'm telling them existed. So that's something that I always keep in mind, to know that not everybody knows. I know, you guys know, but not everybody knows.
Yeah, you're right that everybody don't know, but the benefit that the people do have is the brothers that's out there on the street that's teaching them, right?
Right.
And not only that, not only are we teaching them, but we also helping them because scriptures say to help the godly man. So if you turn this on, you turn your first nature back on, then we gonna help you by default. And that's just the way that it is. And that's what they really took away from us. They took the unity away from us. They put us all as crabs in a barrel. Now I'm pulling on him, trying to bring him down. I'm
Right.
selling drugs to his mother. He said he prostituting my little sister. And that's just the conditions of the battle. But if we bring this back to our original culture, who we are, and value ourselves, then we'll be able to make it even further than that. All right?
Yeah.
And then we be able
I
to
agree in that unity. Unity is definitely something we're lacking.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's how we'll be able to, you know, recognize in the supermarket when it's 80% processed foods,
Yeah.
and it's like one aisle of healthiness. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you just got you got produce, and then you got maybe one aisle with some grains in them or whatever, and the rest of it is just processed
Right.
madness.
I heard you're supposed to shop around the perimeter.
Oh damn!
You ever notice that on a grocery store? You got your bread and stuff on one side, then you got your meats on the perimeter, then you got your dairies, and then you're supposed to get out of there.
Oh
But
damn!
then-
That's like
but-
you got to travel around the moat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not so true anymore. We used to say that, but it's
Right.
not really as true. Like you said, so your rice, your dry beans and stuff, they're in the middle of the aisles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's really knowing, like,
Right.
I see this ain't for me. I see this, okay, this is what I should go to. And I was talking to somebody, I think she was in Spain. She was somewhere in Europe, and she was telling me how the system out there, it's like a graded level. So when you see, like, in every food label, or maybe next to the pricing, it'll say like A, B, C, D. So you know anything that's A, whatever it is, I'm saying A, but whatever it is, you know, A stuff is what you should be buying. B stuff should be stuff you're limiting.
yes.
Like, we don't really have something that's
I think we do.
that easy.
I think we
for
do.
people to know.
I don't know it 100%, but one of the brothers was talking about that. I think it was Tavai. He's in the back over there, and he was saying that vegetables with like a Y on it, or something like that. Where's he at? A 9. He said the vegetables with a 9, then those are good, and then the other ones I think are GMO or something like that, right? Right, and then the other numbers are GMO. This, you know, I'm just hearing this for the first time a couple weeks ago,
I didn't know
so
that.
maybe that's the thing. I don't know.
No, I mean, there is something like that, but not all of them would have that number on
Okay.
them, because, like, what if you're buying at a food stand, or
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
not everything is tagged.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Buying local helps too. Buying from your local farmers market,
Yeah,
that
those are
can
great.
decrease prices so
Yep.
that you're not paying as much as you would at whole paycheck.
Right. Right. So all praise to the Lord. Hey, sis, we were happy to have you tonight. You know what I
Good
mean? We
info.
kept you
Great.
up. We know it's late over there.
I know it's late.
Hopefully you ain't got to get up tomorrow early.
Where's she at? She in?
She's in Georgia.
All
Yeah,
praises. All
Atlanta,
praises.
yeah.
Yeah. In Atlanta. So hopefully, you got a late start tomorrow. You got to, you start work like around 11 or something so you could
I mean, that's the benefit of running your own business is you can schedule things around whatever you need to schedule around. So I'm
Right.
good.
Okay, all praise to the Lord. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. Please shout out your social media for us.
Yes, my Instagram and TikTok is Black Nutritionist Mama.
Oh wow.
And
There
so you
go.
can find me there, and you can also go to joannefillman.com and contact me there as well.
All praises, all praises. Hey, it was excellent. Thank you for coming to bless us with your knowledge. All right.
Thank you
And
for
and,
having
and I
me.
hope you got
Greatly
something out of what
appreciate
we're
it.
showing you as well. And follow us. Israel
Yeah.
Unite, Israel United in Christ.
Yeah.
So that's israelunite.org.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. I mean, none of the information you shared is new to me. Like I said, I
Right.
grew up Seventh-day Adventist, so.
Right. We have a lot of Seventh-day Adventists, former Seventh-day Adventists in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. All right. So, sis, we can say shalom to you. All right.
Shalom.
All right. Blessings to the family. All right.
Thank you.
Shalom.
Same
All
to
right,
you.
sis.
All right.
All
Have a
right.
good
Thank you,
evening.
sis. All
All right.
praises. All praises.
Thank you.
Let's
Bye.
good. Let's go. Yeah, man.
All praises. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen. This health thing and the eating and all that's a big thing for our people. Yeah, we're gonna jump into a couple things. Hey, can y'all pull up that movie? Are they allowing y'all to pull that up? All right, cool. Make sure y'all put the disclaimer, man. We don't want any problems there. Yeah. Yeah, get it to like 31. I want to see a little part here. 31 minutes.
You can sell this $5 spatula.
Wait a minute. Is it a damn commercial?
He said, I know what you want.
Right.
But this is what I
He
got.
said, you
for
need your spatula.
Y'all need to flip y'all conversation. Give me some pork on my fork.
Damn.
Yo.
Come on, play it. Let's go.
That was a good conversation.
That was
Yeah,
very,
man.
very
It was
good and
educational.
informative.
Excellent, man. It's good. It's good when we have people up here who's like, expert in their field and
Yeah.
they know and those different things on how to. Huh? It's video locked. No problem.
right.
All right. Well, the part I wanted to look at, they were talking about processed meats, right?
Mhm.
And how all that food is bad for us and all that. But we knew that was going. Listen, all of this is going into our captivity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give me that thing in Ezekiel, man.
4:13.
Yeah, bro, you want it? Yep. Give me Ezekiel 4:13.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4 and verse 13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles,
Right.
whither I will drive them.
Right. So wherever our people go, right, in this captivity that we in, our bread is gonna be defiled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like even when you think about like sometimes people want to have a beef sausage or some kind of sausage, you got to watch what the casing is made out of.
Yeah.
The casing might even be made out of pork.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then now we eating defiled. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord is just showing us some mercy. That's why we in this grace time now, because when you read the scriptures, it said our righteousness is like some filthy rags.
Right.
You know what I mean? We trying our best, but Esau gunning.
Right.
You know?
And
Go ahead,
who's to say like if did the cow that you eating, did it die of itself? You know what I'm saying? Was it torn by beasts? We're
Right.
not in control of that at this
Right.
time. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So we eating all kind of. Was it choked?
Right.
Was it strangled? Was it drained properly? We don't know.
Yeah.
So
And the cows go through a lot of stress.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? During that whole situation.
yeah.
Driving up and down. Let's say we going up what's that, the 5? And then you know, there's a lot of cows out there eating in the pasture. They all right. Then you come by this one place, and it's just filthy. What is that? A dairy farm? I don't understand.
Yeah, it ain't nothing but dirt.
I don't even know what they eating.
They eating dirt. They eating corn.
Yeah, like little feed or something, but
Yeah.
it's filthy over there.
Yeah,
It's filthy. And we're eating from them cows right there.
Right.
yeah.
You know?
Cows is on the plantation. Singing sweet, hang low, sweet chariot. Come take me home.
You eating
What
all
the
that-
hell? Oh,
I've been working all the Yo, just cows is just singing Negro spirituals.
yeah.
Yeah, swing low.
Huh? Oh, you got it? Oh, okay. They got the video. All right. Yeah, go to 31. Watch this, y'all.
Hot dog a day increases your risk of developing colorectal cancer by 18%. Eating 2 servings of processed meat a day, like bacon for breakfast or cold cuts for lunch, has a similar
Hold on,
impact
pause
on
right there,
risk
pause.
of colorectal cancer.
And that's what Joanne was saying, right? Remember that? She said that if you're eating the pork for breakfast and the ham sandwich for lunch and all of that, you killing yourself. Go ahead, y'all. Press play.
As smoking. And yet these foods are served every single day in public schools, hospitals, prisons, and
Press
government
pause.
facilities.
Press.
If you were to take the lunch
Hold on.
break
Go
from
back. That was
school-
crazy. Come on. Go back. That's where y'all going?
He said he went to the beginning.
Yo, they went to the beginning. I want to see the whole movie.
They
Hey,
nervous back there.
Boy was intrigued. He was like, wait
Yo.
a minute.
He said, "You said go back,
right.
go back to the part
Come on.
with the processed
Yeah.
hot dog, and the
31, brothers.
bacon."
31.
You know,
I gave him all the minutes and
I
everything.
seen
gave
my
him-
breakfast and my lunch
Damn.
right there.
Yo, wicked.
We put that in a sandwich bag with some chips.
Oh man, what happened? Look.
Hey, let's go.
You can't
What
make it up.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, there you go.
Cancer by 18%. Eating 2 servings of processed meat a day, like bacon for breakfast or cold cuts for lunch, has a similar impact on risk of colorectal cancer as smoking.
Damn.
And yet these
That's
foods are
smoking.
served
Hold on.
every single-
Pause. Can you imagine that? We tell people all the time, don't smoke.
Yeah,
Right? Don't smoke. We gotta tell them don't eat pork.
yeah.
You
You
gotta
have
tell
to.
them don't, because that was mainly pork they were showing on them damn plates.
Yeah,
that wasn't
yeah.
nothing else. All processed food is bad, obviously, but that damn bacon, bro. I saw something on a commercial today. It said, have your chicken tender a bacony chicken tender. How you gonna put a Y at the end of bacon?
Damn.
How's something gonna be bacony, bro? I got a bacony chicken tender. What?
A bacony chicken
Bacon.
tender.
Everything was bacon, bro. The salad had bacon bits, and the damn soda had bacon in it.
Chicken had bacon on it.
Yo, the chicken had bacon on it. It's like when Dave Chappelle was doing the crack. Just sprinkle a little crack on it.
Sprinkle some bacon.
Sprinkle a little pork on him. Like, come on, this is crazy.
Hey, I went to the drive-through and got a cheeseburger, and dude trying to hook me up. He's like, "You want bacon on it?" I was like, "Nah, no thank." He's like, "No, it's free, man. I got you, man." Like, he was hooking me up.
We got all this good bacon over here.
Yeah, I got you, man. You ain't got to say
Man,
nothing.
you better get his silly ass out of here.
Bruh, that defiled food and them unclean food is in the running and in the same category as smoking cigarettes, man.
You
Damn,
can't make it up.
That's crazy. That's why the scriptures say don't defile your temple.
Exactly.
it go deep.
But here it go with the lobsters, all of that. Back in the days, I believe this was late 1800s, early 1900s. They used to serve lobster and clams and all that in the prisons. Nobody ate that on the street.
Yeah.
And then some bright, and I think it was a Judite, started selling clams in Manhattan for like a penny. You know, he started hustling. All of a sudden, it blew up.
Damn.
It blew up. Esau took over. Then they made it into a thing, and it slowly came out of the prisons, and they start calling it a delicacy.
Wow.
Now we at Red Lobster trying to eat them biscuits.
Or
Them-
the
them-
cheese
them
biscuit.
good
with
biscuits
the,
they
with
got. I ain't gonna lie. Yo,
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
yeah. Yo, they gotta leave
Boy,
Red
ain't no way,
Lobster
boy.
open strictly for them biscuits, bro. Yo, but all of that lobster and all that garbage, they started calling that a delicacy.
Yeah.
That's all psychological warfare. Ain't nothing delicate about it. That thing is wicked.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, y'all.
single day in public schools, hospitals, prisons, and government facilities.
Right.
If you were to take the lunch tray from a public school, a hospital, and prison and mix them up like a 3-cup shuffle, you wouldn't be able to tell which is which.
See that? Dang.
You know
Yo,
it's bad.
yo, hold on. Pause. You see what I'm saying? This is how come we understand about the school to prison pipeline.
Yeah.
See, it is rolling they got the same meals in the prison that they have in the school. They just getting you ready in school.
Damn. Yeah.
They getting you ready in school. Before it was okay, you know, you're home, your mother packs a lunch and all that. Then they were like, no, don't worry about it. We got a lunch program.
Yeah.
We gonna give it to you for free.
Right.
It's prison tray.
Exactly.
You get that same chocolate milk,
Yeah.
but in prison they got the ice in it.
Yo, you crazy. Right? They got that good bacony chicken nuggets.
Oh no.
Right? And they giving the kids. Listen, this is a sick situation.
Man.
Hit play, y'all. Hit play.
It to your child. Like, that's a baby. You love the hell out that baby. You feeding that baby something that could possibly kill him. It could kill him now. It's kids with cancer. That stuff deep as a mug.
We know that red meat, beef, is related to cancer of the colon, cancer of the stomach. Smoked fish is related to cancer of the stomach.
And some people say, "Oh, chicken is good. Chicken is better." Then chicken is just as bad.
Hold on.
And
Hit pause.
clogs are just as bad.
Hit
If not,
pause. He said chicken is just as bad. Get his ass out of here.
All right.
Yeah. You ain't gonna talk about chicken in front of me.
All the Judas like, what are we gonna eat?
Right. Now, but they talking about in regards to the processing, right?
Yeah.
'Cause that's really what's gonna make that meat bad. You know, when he's saying smoked fish, I'm not sure what he meant by that. But if you catching some good fish and you know smoking, I don't see what the issue is there. I didn't look into that part, but this is what we dealing with, y'all. This is what we dealing with. So as a people, we have to become smart and start making good, smart decisions on our diet. Right?
That fish they talking about gotta be catfish.
Yeah,
that
that
gotta
can't
be. Cause them, you talk about Negroes here. I see Murphy Lee up there. That's a rapper.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to you, my
Yeah,
friend.
right.
What?
Yeah, Murphy Lee.
Mathematics from the
From
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
I
He's
never heard him
a
listening to you, homie.
Right.
You smoke weed.
You what? He like, we gotta stop eating all this processed stuff.
Y'all going crazy with all that pork, man.
It's bad for you.
Got him.
Y'all remember on the PJs? Do you remember the crackhead?
Yeah.
Yo,
He wouldn't smoke the cigarette because he said, not my temple. But he smoked crack.
Yo, this is sick.
Man, look.
Hey, go to you know what? Hold on, let me see something. Go to Psalms 55, right? Go to Psalms 55:21, right? Because we were talking earlier about how the food industry is going in and they're running certain type of ads, right, to make us eat a certain way and all of that. But this is just part of the systematic destruction of our people, the school system, to the prison, to the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? The marketing, right? Watch this. Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Right. Oh, come on in to what do you call it? Burger King and get this bacony chicken tender. And get this and get that. When you go into East Hall's neighborhood, you only see one of these in the entire neighborhood. Whereas you come in our neighborhood, every corner has a fast food restaurant in these places. You know what I mean? And even in a place like New York, if y'all go, I'm telling you, you'll be shocked. It's crazy. Literally every store you got a chicken place. Not even Popeyes. They got little chicken spots called like Kansas fried chicken.
I've seen
And
those,
and hood fried chicken. Like some y'all think I'm playing like some weird names and it's chicken galore. Right? You got chicken, you got the damn regular Popeyes, you got the Chinese food restaurant, they selling madness, and it's just up and down the place. You don't see nothing like that in these Edomite communities. All right? Why? Because they're using that marketing towards us, right? To what? To make us go by. Read that again, bro. Start from the top.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
But war was in his heart. We looking at it like it's just food. Like it's just no, this is a war going on. That's why we got to keep these scriptures always lined up. We got to keep the laws of God in our mind at all times. There's a war going on. All right. If you don't recognize there's a war going on, then you in trouble.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
His words were softer than oil.
Go ahead.
Yet were they drawn swords.
Right. But they were drawn swords because we're getting killed with this food. You know what I'm saying? Although we're making jokes about Murphy Lee, he's right. Cancer in the kids, right? And in grown-ups, right? And it's coming on in an early stage, in an early time, right? It shouldn't be like that. All right? Go ahead.
Give me that 1 Esdras chapter 5, just to touch on Cap point about how they make this stuff look good amongst us. That ain't nothing but a secret plot, man.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing but to make you. It's like clickbait. Make it look good, so you will go and grab it. Go read that.
Got him.
Yo, forgive them. They still working.
They back there experimenting.
Let me try this one.
Right.
What if this button do?
Hit that red one.
Go ahead.
1 Ezra chapter 5, verse 73.
Uh-huh.
And by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived.
What I wanted out of there is by their secret plots and popular persuasion, meaning the media.
Right.
They pushing all of that stuff. Go ahead,
72.
jump up to 72.
Verse 72.
Uh-huh.
But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea, and holding them straight, hindered their building.
Come on.
And by their secret plots
You
and popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived.
No, I know you wanted the popular persuasions and all that. Yes, that's why I said 72.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Oh.
Yeah. Definitely you.
That's all I wanted was 73.
Yeah.
You feel me? But
Yep.
yeah, by they secret plots and the stuff that they push through media, that's how they get us, man.
That's
Make you covetous over everything. That's it. That's all
a
it's
hell
about.
of a secret plot. It's like we're gonna kill them slowly. You know. They what's the age of retirement?
Supposed to be 65, but
yeah, it's supposed to be.
Nobody can really retire at that age.
Right.
Hell no.
Right. So, but if we feed them the right way, by the time they get about 65, they should be dying.
Yeah.
From the,
They should be good, and then we got the pharmaceutical companies coming in,
yeah,
right, and dropping that off. You know, it's a whole setup.
It's crazy.
It's a whole setup. Give me hey y'all, go to 35 minutes on that.
35 minutes is more.
Yeah, this is nutty.
$35 minutes, please.
1, 2.
First ingredient, water. Second ingredient, sugar or high fructose corn syrup.
Yep.
Corn syrup or other corn products
bring it back a
are
little
in
bit.
virtually all processed food.
Bring it back just a little bit so we can get the whole thing. All right. Oh, come on, bro.
Out of these urban environments, is first ingredient, water. Second ingredient, sugar or high fructose corn syrup.
Corn syrup or other corn products are in virtually all processed food. Corn is one of the most heavily federally subsidized commodities in the U.S. In 2017 alone, the federal government gave out over $5.1 billion to help corn farmers grow even more corn.
Hey, pause.
Damn, corn ain't
Y'all see that? $5 billion so they can have corn syrup, right? High fructose corn syrup, right? And everybody knows that's the killer. Everybody tries to stay away from that. That's the one thing everybody knows. What? High fructose. How you pronounce that? Fructose. Yeah, that's it. That one. Everybody know about that. And they gave them $5 billion to make more corn, bruh. It ain't that much corn in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody want to keep it. It ain't even like they saying, yo, make some cornbread. They talking about high fructose corn syrup. Hey, hit play.
Taxpayer subsidies have kept the price of corn products artificially low, making things like corn oil and high fructose corn syrup ridiculously cheap. No surprise we can see corn in virtually all junk food. Even the meat people are eating is connected to corn. Farm animals eat the majority of corn grown in the U.S. as a cheap way to fatten them up for slaughter, even keeping the price of meat artificially low.
Them cows in captivity right there.
Right.
That we were just talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what you was just saying. I think you said they was eating corn.
Yeah, they eating corn.
Right.
Yep.
And but look what he said. He's saying that they're being fed that corn to keep the price artificially low, right? Watch this. Hit play. Right. Yeah.
With all the federal subsidies, the meat and dairy industry received $38 billion to prop it up and to keep unhealthy foods cheap. That's more than the entire spending for all Section 8 housing vouchers.
Damn.
Only 11% of low-income households receive federal assistance, while more than 38% of U.S. farmers receive federal subsidies. That's the real welfare issue. If you take into consideration all the externalized costs of the meat and dairy industry that are imposed on society, a $4 Big Mac would actually cost $11.
If animal Stop. Y'all hearing that? So the reason we can go out there and eat that bad food is because what? The animals eating bad. Now that brings down and they're being subsidized so much they're able to produce more, and then that makes the meat cheap. So now you can go ahead and buy this disease food for $4. Because in reality, if it was some real meat, it would be $11. But I think it's even watch this, hit play. I think it's gonna say something else on here. Watch this.
Products were priced where they should be without all the government support, without all the government welfare, this being added to the equation, very few people would even be able to afford these animal products.
If you look at, say, the meat industry, everybody knows it contributes to heart disease. Everybody knows it contributes to cancer. And yet, what gets subsidized the most? The feed grains going into the cattle, going into the pigs, going into the chickens, so it makes meat cheap.
The federal government gives massive subsidies to commodity food producers so they can make cheap, processed food, which makes their profit margins higher. The reason the government does this is because food corporations pay for congressmen's re-elections through their lobbyists to push through these policies. It's a pay-for-play system. Over the last 30 years, the meat, dairy, and egg industries have given over $134 million to U.S. congressmen.
Yo, hit pause. Hit pause. So your congressman, right, that we so-called, you know, that's why we don't vote.
Right.
The Israelites don't vote. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said don't vote. Why? Because this was going on. You got these meat industry or whatever, right? The food lobbyists giving $134 million. Did you hear what they said? To congressmen. What are they doing with the bread? They chilling. It's a whole game being played. You understand what I'm saying? This is like street business. This is like the damn drug business. You know what I mean? It's just money getting paid for play, like he said. You know? So this is what we're dealing with, family. This is what we're dealing with. So it's very important to watch your diet. But the Bible talks about all of this. So it ain't like we just coming in there, oh, yeah, we're going to just talk about good health. No, this is what the Lord is dealing with. Hey, give me Sirach 31 real quick, man. Give me Sirach 31. Start at 16.
Sirach chapter 31, verse 16. Eat as it becometh a man.
Eat as it becometh a man. Go ahead.
Those things which are set before thee, and devour not, lest thou be hated.
Mm-hmm.
Leave off first for manners' sake, and be not unsatiable, lest thou offend.
All right, jump down to 19. That's what I want.
Verse 19. A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
Right. A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, right? Because once your diet becomes, now you start to have a good diet, like the sister was bringing out, Joanne, right? You having the right vegetables, you getting your colorful stuff, you getting your antioxidants and your anti-inflammatories and so on and so forth. Once you start to create this type of discipline in your diet, guess what? You're not going to be looking like that big dude that was around a whole table full of fried chicken.
Man.
Talking about this is just the appetizer. Like, you know what I mean? You're gonna be able to get through this and have your meals right and tight. Go ahead.
Right.
Read on, bro.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed.
Right, go ahead.
Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating.
Right, moderate eating, not overeating. Right? We had to get. Remember the other night we did good. We had some of that mole. It was beautiful. It was excellent.
Yeah.
Right? Malachi came back out like, y'all want some more? We was like, nah, bro. Just give us something to go, man. You trying to kill us in here tonight?
Right.
Right? But in time past, we'd have been like, yo, put that on the plate. Yeah, I'm ready to get some more. Right? But now we trying to really watch our diet. We trying to stay alive out here. Go ahead, read.
He riseth early, and his wits are with him.
Right.
But the pain of watching and the choler and pangs of the belly are with an unsatiable man.
Or with a greedy man. He's eating all the damn food and then going to sleep. Right? You going to sleep on some full stomach. You just ate like 5 pounds of food. and all that. You waking up in the morning, you sick. You ain't right. You not, your wits ain't about you. All right? Well, go ahead. What y'all got?
That's the man. That's that good stuff right there, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Jump back up to 16, please.
Verse 16. Eat as it becometh a man, those things which are set before thee.
What are those things that are set before us? The things that come out the water with fins and scales, the things that cheweth the cud, the clean beast that the Lord say that we could eat. That's how you eat like it becometh a man. Because what is a man? What is a real man according to the scripture? A real man according to the scripture is a man that applies God's commandments. So those are the things that's set before you. Judah.
Right. It said at first for manners' sake, so you got to look at how you behaving yourself too. You know, scarfing down, and you know what I'm saying. That's just rude in the first place.
Yeah, looking
You know
crazy.
what I'm saying?
Looking crazy. Hey, I was just telling a story about that. You know, back in the days, I was in Trinidad. I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying. I was over there, and you know, my grandfather. You know what I'm saying. He's eating at the table all the time, so I'm watching him eat. And he would always, every night, he would always leave. Well, I ain't gonna say night because they don't have like a dinner time. Like they have like a supper, so they eat what we call dinner. They eat that like around 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, somewhere in there. So he would leave like a little bit of rice back all the time. And one night I said, "Yo, Grandpa, why you always leaving that there?" He said, "Oh, that's for manners." You know what I mean? Then when I come into the truth, I read that, and I'm like, "Oh, damn, for manners' sake, that's crazy." You know what I mean? So, but you know, they did have those scriptures. They had the Apocrypha back then in their Bibles, so they knew how to. Them old school dudes, they wasn't walking around heavy like that. Them guys was slim,
right,
crazy strong, moving all type of bricks, building houses, and smacking people around. You know what I mean? They had their strength about them. But you gonna say something, bro? I just wanted to jump in.
No, I was just on you. Like when you look at the marches and stuff in the 60s and 70s, all them dudes was in shape.
Oh yeah,
you didn't see too many fat dudes.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right about that.
Yeah, they was all in shape.
Hell yeah, they was eating good, and the sisters was that was just the way our people were. We knew how to just eat and get on with it. But as they started putting all these systems in place, right? We're thinking, hey, you know, we living good now. We can eat out. We can eat at this spot. But it was all a setup.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was all a setup. You know, and even if somebody, and again, we not, you know, I thought she was vegetarian or whatever. And there's many of our people who are vegetarians, which is good, right? The Lord, that's how it started off, right? Give me Genesis 1 real quick, right? That's how I started off. And it's hard for me. I don't know if I could be a vegetarian. I don't
know if
I
I
got a
can
problem
either, bro.
Yeah, that's why I was joking with her. Yo, can your husband have a wing at least? You know, I need
You
a
better-
couple of wings or something.
You better put some chicken on that salad.
And some lemon pepper, make it taste like.
Yo,
for real,
real talk.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 29.
Go ahead.
And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of the tree, yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
It says, to you it shall be for meat. So all of the herbs, the plant life, the seeds, and all of that, that was the meat at the time. And it wasn't like some little stuff we get now. Those things was humongous. This was like, when you ate that, remember, you got to think about the time then. The oxygen was rich.
Right.
The water, everything was on it was on 1,000, 1,000,000. You know what I mean? So you didn't need to eat meat, right? But read on. Verse 30.
Verse 30. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so.
Right. And it was so. So even the animals were what? Eating the herbs and the grass. And it's going to go back to that in the kingdom. It's going right back to that. Right. But then when you had, now remember after this, you know, they started sacrificing. They had to do sacrifices, but they still weren't eating the meat. That didn't come till the time of Noah. Right. When the Lord said it was a sweet savor, they started eating the meat. That's when we started eating meat after that. Right. So there's nothing wrong with meat, but make sure y'all get the right meat. Right. Try y'all best. Don't just buy anything. And she was right. Due to the food deserts, the places, we're not able to buy the best foods, right? But we have to take the time now and start figuring out where to get these damn foods at.
Right.
Our mind got to get right. We have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a matter of life and death. It's that serious. You know what I'm saying? What you got here? How to read codes on produce. Oh, excellent. Excellent. So whoever watching this, snapshot that. I even got a snapshot of something. Y'all got to send that to me. So this is how so electronic pasteurization got a PLU code. Conventionally grown is sprayed with pesticides, that got a PL. Oh, okay, that starts with a 4. So right, so you got a 3 and a 4. The 6 is pre-cut fruits and vegetables. So I guess that's when they already cut it up and have it ready for you. Maybe the frozen stuff. I don't know. That's a 6. GMO and genetically modified organisms are an 8. Organic is a 9. So I guess that's what we're looking for. Organic.
9.
Yeah, we looking for that 9. So now everything I look at gotta have a 9. I'm gonna mess around, come out there with nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
We fresh out of 9s.
Oh yeah, you want the 9s? It's on the Oreo cookies. Oh, thank you. You know what I mean?
He's organic.
Yeah. Right.
For real, bro.
Yo, real talk. Hold on, let me get something too. Hey. Damn.
What, that scripture about the cluster of grapes?
Cluster. Oh man, you want to go to the cluster of grapes? You know where I want to go? I want to go where now get there real quick, just for the fun. You know what I mean?
Numbers chapter 13 and
Right.
verse 23.
Go ahead.
And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes.
Right.
And they bare it between 2 upon a staff.
Right. So yo, read that part again. I love that.
And cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes.
Right.
And they bare it between 2 upon a staff. And they brought it of the pomegranates and of the figs.
Right. So this cluster of grapes is so huge they had to hold it with 2 men. Right. So that's what we're saying. Like that's how that was a cluster of grapes.
Damn.
Right. What a cluster of grapes look like right now. Right.
Right.
Right. Let me weigh it. Oh, it's $4.99 each a pound. You know what I mean?
Damn, 2 men.
Exactly. So that means like one grape was like 3 pounds. That juice all over your face. But yeah, but this is how it was back then. You had actual good fruits. I remember eating fruits back in the days. It would taste good. Now I don't like eating fruits. You know what I mean? I got to do something to it, else it ain't really official. But where's that part? I just want to get back to this damn. Hey, listen, family. Listen, y'all got to watch y'all eating, okay? Because we be overeating. I ain't gonna lie. Remember where it talks about with that was Eli. Eli in the book of Samuel, right? So in the book of Samuel, you had Eli. He had his 2 wicked sons, right? So he was up there robbing, robbing the people, taking the sacrificial meats. You know what I mean? Taking it and then giving it to his pops, which was the priest Eli, right? So you're gonna find out what happened with Eli in the end. You got it, bro? Yeah, 1 Samuel should be like around 6, maybe. Let me see. Hold on. Forgot where that thing is. Hold on. Somebody.
2 and 22, I think it is.
Is it? Nah. Hold on. It got to be like 4. Yes. Go to 1 Samuel 4. I thought it was 6. It's 4.
4 and verse 4.
Wherever he went, whenever he got low, it's when he died.
Oh, 4 and 11.
Is it that one? No, that's when his sons got killed. Yeah, that's it. Go read down 13.
1 Samuel chapter 4, verse 13. And when he came low, Eli sat upon the seat by the wayside watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of God. And when the man came into the city and told it, and all the city cried out. And when Eli heard the noise of the crying, he said, What meaneth the noise of this tumult?
Right.
And the man came in hastily and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were dim that he could not see.
Right, he was old. He couldn't see that well. Go ahead.
And the man said unto Eli, I am he that came out of the army, and fled today out of the army. And he said, What is there done, my son? And the messenger answered and said, Israel has fled before the Philistines, and there hath been also a great slaughter among the people. And thy 2 sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God is taken.
Right. So those 2 sons were some demons. All right. So the Lord put them to death. That was their judgment. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when he made mention of the ark of God, that he fell from off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died, for he was an old man and heavy.
And heavy, right? They made sure to say he was heavy. He was fat. Why? Because he was eating all that stolen meat. You know what I'm saying? All that meat they was taking from everybody, and Eli was just eating it up and eating it up. And he just getting fat and fat. They made sure to add that, so you know that all that food he was eating, that he became fat off of that, right? So I just wanted to bring that out, right? Showing that this man just ate himself, he didn't eat himself to death, but he ate to the point to where he fell back on that chair and broke his damn neck, right? Obviously, he was being judged, but the point is, I just want to show you that the Lord said he was fat as hell. You know what I'm saying? That had to be there, right? God does talk about those things. But go ahead, bro. Good, you got something?
Oh, no.
He said, oh, no. Yeah. He looking at the camera like.
I was looking at it. I was like, why is it on me?
Yo. But all praise to the Lord. You know, we had an excellent class today, excellent guests. It's great when we have these people on to discuss these topics, because a lot of times we wouldn't even, really think about these kind of things. You know what I'm saying? And for that movie that movie that we was watching, if anybody want to continue to watch that from the beginning. It's real crazy. It's called They're Trying to Kill Us. They're trying to kill us, right? And the stats in there is nuts. But these are the kind of things we need to watch to get our minds right. You know what I'm saying? We have to get our minds right. Everything goes back to the laws of God. We're in this position because we broke the laws of God. This is captivity. We're still living out our sentence. You know what I'm saying? Like we said before, came from the chattel slavery, went to black codes, went to Jim Crow, right? Now we got welfare system, Section 8, all this kind of stuff. These things were set up to break our families apart, right? And now that the families are broken apart, guess what? Now everybody's struggling. Oh, damn, let me just run out here and go get some food from here. And all of this is part of it. You know what I'm saying? You out there, like you brought up before, you out there selling drugs. Now you're living a whole life. Now they got more liquor stores than supermarkets, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. More liquor stores than supermarkets, right? And let's just say, okay, you got 2-3 liquor stores. You got one great supermarket. Okay, fine. But that ain't what's going on. We got a bunch of garbage supermarkets, a bunch of trash being sold to our people. You know what I mean? Those bodegas and little, what we call bodegas back east, and those little corner stores and stuff, you don't see that in the Edomite communities. They do not exist. They do not exist. Matter of fact, it's the same thing. You got the wicked churches, right? You got about 3,000 churches in the neighborhood. None of them doing a damn thing, right? Same thing with the liquor stores and all that. You go to Esau community, he got one church. He might have one Catholic church and then one, whatever, fake Christian, whatever church they got going on, but they don't flood it because they know it's a game. You know what I mean? They got us in that perpetual cycle inside this madness, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So all praise to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all got something out of that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got something out of that. We have to come back to the laws of God. Watch the dietary law, very important. Watch your intake. Watch exactly what you're eating. You know what I'm saying? We have to get ourselves together,
That's you right. Don't get yourself together. Give me Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 21.
Yo, they stupid.
I see.
Yo,
come on.
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 21.
Go ahead.
Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
If you do this thing again,
you got to turn that up, man. It sounds like we pity patting, man. You got to turn that all the way up. We hit the heart out of you.
Yeah.
There you go.
You do this thing again, we got to lay hands on you. Right. That's what's going to happen. Hey, y'all tuned in to the Nehemiah Squad. Yes. Tune in to us again next week.
Yeah.
We're going to have another great topic.
Yeah. Matter of fact, yo, who we got? Yo, Zeve ain't here, right? Damn. I forgot who coming on next week.
A great topic. next week.
Gonna be somebody
Put the
good.
damn there we
Hold
go.
on, why you do that? I'm gonna text somebody. Yo, come on.
Hey, make sure y'all like, sharing, and subscribing. We gotta get these numbers up, y'all. You know y'all loving what's coming out of this camp here, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's the squad, the Nehemiah squad. And if you don't subscribe and do it again, we gonna lay hands on you. That's what's gonna happen here, man.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. Listen, all of y'all share. Let everybody know where we're at. IUIC Sacramento. All right. Yo, hey, follow us. Jump on all of our social media. Right. What's that? The Nehemiah Squad. TikTok, Nehemiah Squad. Instagram, Nehemiah Squad. What I'm forgetting? Twitter. Oh, YouTube. Right. Instagram. All that. Go in. Facebook. Yeah. Get on Facebook. You know what I mean? Start following us, share, and let's grow this thing. You know what I mean? We out here. Don't leave us lonely out here.
Right.
Hey, yo, hit the bell icon as well, right? So when
Hell
the show
yeah.
come on, it'll click and give you some type of thoughts. And you know what I'm saying? Get your mind right. Get your mind ready. Damn. I'm trying to remember what the next thing we got going on. Damn.
The people don't know where we at. Y'all gotta show it to them, man. This is where this is where the good info coming out.
Yeah.
You know, we relating it back to the Bible because everybody's saying the same thing the Bible's saying, whether they know it or not.
Right.
You know, but we gotta educate them. You know, and we getting the information make us think. Who was thinking about nutrition this week? You know what I'm saying? We cutting Esau. We reading like, how can we cut Esau this week? Or you know what I'm saying? Who is salvation for? Nobody was thinking about nutrition this week, but now I'm thinking like, damn, that sandwich meat is bad.
Nah, real talk. Real talk. We gotta watch all that sandwich meat, all that the white bread, the white rice, everything white.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
So
sorry, that's not racism either.
That's you talking that good talk.
Yeah,
what
that's
the
good.
hell? That's God talk.
That's God talk. Oh man. All right, damn. I cannot remember what who next week's guest is. Sure. Oh, that's crazy. All right.
As soon as you get in the car, you're gonna remember.
Man, come on, man. And oh, okay, here we go. Oh, for real? Okay, thank you, Sister Sherry. Okay, we got an ex-NFL player next week.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking to him about the sports industry, what goes on in the NFL. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, y'all gonna want to be here.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna want to be here. Y'all be here or be square. That's the old school shit.
Man, look. It's gonna be all type of yellow flags and red flags thrown.
10-yard penalties.
10-yard penalties. Encroachments. Come tune in next week, man.
Right.
It's gonna be the one.
Yeah, all praise. Hey, we got a bunch of shows lined up for y'all. I'm telling you, it's gonna get. Yeah, y'all gonna be shocked at what's gonna be coming. So yeah, hey,
man,
just keep watching. All right, that's Monday night, 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. The Nehemiah Squad. With that, we say shalom. Most High in Christ bless y'all. All right.
Yeah.
Even the evil, spend holy days away from the heathen. I need a break, I don't need a reason. I need a script, I don't need your grievance. Keep it to yourself, it's better for my health. Leave it on the shelf, ain't hearing nothing else. Tonight and tonight, knowing the price. Pay it off for my life, till it's out with your lights. Do it all for the Christ, and he ain't playing nice. Knew the end from the start. Fix your face like it's art. The sons of a simp, call him Bart. Yeah, you did your best, played your part. But now it's time to cut you to the heart. That's on the case. It's the strangest of the salvation. You see it, believe it, amazing. The chariots coming invasion since the creation. War, mine, Lord, bless the general. Greatest nation, eat them unequivocal. Bombs dropping, buddy, cut this biblical. Start shit, now it's time to finish. Whoa. Say he won't vote, we looking for smoke. So, we give him some more. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking it down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking it down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
I can't Wait for our kingdom to start and for there to be finished. Get rid of all of their idols and lying religions. Look for the crown like an Edris. Hey, this that crown talk. Wisdom of Solomon 5 talk. This that second Edris 6 and 9. We want eyes talk. It's your time to end. And my time begin. It's our time to win. Away with the sin. You know what it is. Rejoice with my kin. See that is why we repented. Go to the streets, I can see myself in it. The city is bright, the kingdom of light. A wonderful sight past the angels, the inner light. I need 1,000 years of labor. Sit on my throne with my savior. Try to wine, press alone. He bring pain like major. You think the nations is equal to us? TK Kirkland, who raised you? Flex on occasion, my God a racist. That's why we moving with patience. It's been a long time coming. I spent my whole life running. Now that I'm 10 toes down and established my faith on 100. Woe to the nations, my king will race them. You know they gotta be punished. Jeremiah 25. Yeah, you know they gon' fry.
Whoa. Say they won't vote, we looking for smoke. So, we give them some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. In the beginning of all, it's the end of the world. In the beginning of